Imagine them being translated into 20 different languages. I don't know how they do it, but they certainly did do it. And some of you who were listening to the radio the other day may have heard Donal speaking on Morning Ireland, because he has just won the Jean Monnet Prize for literature for a translation of his book into French. So it's wonderful, Donal, to welcome you here, to congratulate you on that wonderful achievement, and to ask you now to speak to us about Eleanor's work. Thank you.
Thanks a million for that amazing introduction. I don't deserve it at all, I really don't. It's so great to be here among friends and family. Hi, Gillian. For Eleanor's launch. Because I think every poet, every novelist wants to be a poet, and every poet wants to be a poet like Eleanor Hooker. She's an amazing person. Actually, when I got the email from Eleanor about this launch, I happened to be at home in Ina with Mam, and I opened the email and said, "Oh, Eleanor's having a launch, and she wants me to speak at it." And Mam said, "You better do it!" I didn't say anything. Of course I'm going to do it. Because she also was a huge fan of Eleanor's work, and of Eleanor, of course. And it is terrifying, actually, to speak about poetry as a novelist, because we novelists are daubers with language, but poets are the people who really use it properly. And as a novelist tasked with trying to do justice to the work of a poet such as Eleanor Hooker, I had to, in cowardly fashion, turn for an opening to the words of a far greater novelist, William Faulkner, who seems to have been as stumped as I was when it came to articulating the ineffable magic of the poet's work. He said, "It is the poet's privilege to help man endure by lifting his heart, by reminding him of the courage and honour and pity and sacrifice which have been the glory of his past. The poet's voice need not merely be the record of man, it can be one of the props, the pillars to help him endure and prevail." Eleanor has created this new collection, a pillar to help all of us endure and prevail. Embedded within these lines of this at once delicate and monumental work, encoded for posterity, is moment after moment of wisdom, generosity, and saving beauty. "What is your advice?" Eleanor asks the honeybee as poet, and the honeybee answers, "Breathe every breath. Regard the echo under siege. It repeats the code. Leave distinguishing marks. Forget to miss. Startle empty corners with song. There is a name for every type of pain, but also for every fragrant flower. Elect your nomenclature. Listen to him laugh as you drag the devil by his tail." They're fighting words, and this is the work of a warrior, a writer with no fear of the battleground of our terrible, complex, destructive, glorious humanity, a writer poised, primed, attuned to the singular frequency of the forgotten, the occluded, the abused. This poet feels beneath her feet, the quote, "The bodies of 10,000 naked sorrows bump the ice, hold their infant breath as they flow away from Aaron and her bishop." Our dim, formless understandings of ourselves are here sublimated into wonder and beauty. The ciphers we use to give meaning to this incoherent existence are made here into music. Eleanor coaxes from language the chords that chime with the deepest parts of us. We are as the subject in the poem Mending the Light, for whom thoughts are clipped wings that cannot fly, but who at the poem's end climbs into her boat to row toward a patch of joy. At times I stop reading and put this collection down and ask myself, how must it feel to have written something so perfect as this? And when I got the book first, actually, I said, okay, this is Eleanor's new collection, and so I know whatever page I open, it'll be beautiful. And I opened it randomly on page 36 in this poem. Listen to this. Down. Tumbling. You grab fistfuls of light before reaching the fells. Your mind is filled with goose down, clusters the size of dandelion crowns, and soft as lanugo. You think, I won't make it out alive. You set down the light you stole from the sun, but realize you are decades of dark time too late. Can you hear me? Are you still there? Climb through a tear in time to find yourself in the roof of the world, a sky woman come of age. But as this is the season for departures, you let go, fall through frigid, vacant air. And I had to stop there. You know what? After the first poem, I think this is going to be at once a joy and a hard task. To read prose poetry is beautiful, words used so elegantly. because it makes you wonder what language in this possibility. Of course, nothing paging up. Okay. And at times I paused my reading because I found myself turned, gently but insistently, by Eleanor's poet's voice and her nurse's hand towards wells of sorrow I find difficult to contemplate. In the poem, Eating the Earth, Eleanor tells us of a patient in intensive care. Clutching his leg, his elderly sister runs beside the trolley, cries, "Hold on, Paddy, you'll be grand. Hold on, love." He's moved from the ambulance directly to us in intensive care. Mud and grit round his mouth, and in his sea-green eyes, ghost ships sail into view. As he struggles and fails to catch their mooring lines, his sister knew enough to make him eat the earth. To check the fires rising inside him, weed killer burning life from his every organ, I coax him to eat the fuller's earth I've prepared to put out remaining pyres. He calls me Missy, apologises for the trouble. He holds on. As we undress him, farmyard falls brown from his boots. We admire his sister's darning at his elbow, and over his heart, parsing his fob watch for the safe. Stop time. Soon his voice sings of loneliness and incessant rain. When all that's left for us to do is take his pain, we do. And when he says he didn't really want to die, we hold his hands, listen, and when all that's left for us to do is lay him down to rest, we do. He sleeps beneath the earth, a clay blanket over his bleached bones. And I stopped again to consider and bask in the hope that Eleanor evinces through her heart-lifting insistence on beauty, her unwavering belief in goodness, the undying light of wonder, of love that shines through her eyes into ours. In Christmas Flight, this question is asked. Will there also be singing? Yes, there will also be singing. And be assured that celestial body, our sun, will heave her coals daily above the horizon, her dawn ablaze. My love, our world has not ceased to enchant. These are songs of water, songs of earth, of bees, of womanhood and motherhood and childhood, of friendship, of the dead and the living. These are songs of departure and songs of home. There is Gartmore, Drummond Harbour, Dromina. Here is Drumineer and the curve of Yahal Bay. There, in her son William's dream, is Eleanor's friend George, coming up the lane from Rinskaheen, drawing a black haze behind him. Eleanor Hooker, nurse, mother, lifeboat helm, and one of the great poets of her generation, takes on her shoulders the burden of lives not hers, helps them to endure and prevail. With her gift, she sanctifies them and saves them. Eleanor, we're all in your debt for the gift of this collection. It's my privilege to be here to speak of it, to read aloud its gleaming lines, to hold it up, and to commend it to you with all of my heart.
Wow, thank you so much. I think I'm going to go home now. Wow. Thank you, Donal. And thank you, Christine.